Well, hello, friends on YouTube. This is your friend Cody, host of the Pillars of Freedom podcast and the 5-day Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge. And thank you for joining me on another episode in this YouTube live series where I go live with you every single day to add value to your journey and document my own. Tonight's episode is called Growth is Intentional, my 90-day strategy. And as many of you guys know, I'm on a journey to build my business toward financial freedom, the freedom of time, income, and location, the three pillars of lifestyle freedom. And yeah, I said financial freedom, and then I said those three, and I was like, I botched that. So I appreciate you guys giving me the freedom to screw up. Anyway, let me ask you a question. How many of you guys have ever set goals? How many of you guys insatiably set goals? How many of you guys insatiably set goals and then continue to fall short? Yeah, that's me. Honestly. Um, uh, how many of you guys also know about the Enneagram personality test? Well, one of my personalities there is in my feeling personality, my dominant feeling personality is the achiever. So I derive my sense of value from this sense of being worthful, being what is it? Being valuable, not being worthless, something like that. Anyway, I love the feeling of achievement. It gives me a sense of purpose. So when I don't have something to strive for, I feel like I'm not living purposefully and I start to feel useless, right? Okay. I feel like I'm valuable if I'm pursuing something. So I insatiably set goals, but what do we do if we fall short time and time again? Well, I'll tell you a quick story. I was standing on the machine in my new job, and it's pretty plug and play. And I'm listening to podcasts, and I like to listen to podcasts for about 4 to 6 hours a day during the week. And I'm standing there and I'm listening to a podcast, and it's about real estate. Now, I'm not interested in real estate particularly, but I'm interested in growth. And if you understand, anything about business marketing, etc., the principles are all the same. They're just applied differently in different markets, niches, approaches, stuff like that. And he's talking about growth and how he and his company have continued to grow like 30% like year after year. And I'm like, that's amazing. Like, this is a big team. Like, these are a lot. There's a lot of like hundreds of millions of dollars moved. It's like, this is no slouch. So how do you, achieve that kind of consistent growth? And I'm like, I'm having these questions because I'm like, I've been in business 12 months and I'm like, I don't feel like I'm growing at all, at least not monetarily. So I'm like, okay, what's driving this consistent growth? Well, he goes on to talk. It's like, well, we find consistent growth as we, continuously apply a 90-day strategy. And I was like, oh my gosh. And my mind went back to my first business, direct sales network marketing. How many of you guys are familiar with Amway? I was building Amway, and I love that business, still love that business, but I left for personal religious reasons. Anyway, I'm thinking about this first business and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, we had quarterly, conferences, whether it was regional or national, but we always had a quarterly conference. And what it did is it gave us really kind of like a cadence, to build our business towards. Where it's just like every 3 months, going into a conference, we'd have an idea of what we want our business to look like, and coming out of that conference, we would put together a game plan towards the next conference. What kind of growth we wanted to see, at the next conference. And what that did, in addition to giving us a cadence, it gave us a very simple framework to follow to be able to, really push for growth. And as I, think about my now second business, I found I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in two different extremes, from one moment to the next. I'm like, I'm so far out in the future where, a lot of my thoughts are irrelevant because they're basically fantasy, or I'm so focused on the now and so close to the fire, so to speak, that it feels like chaos and there's no real, pattern here. There's no sense of structure. And I'm like, that's because I'm missing a 90-day strategy. I don't have a strategy to bridge the two, what goes from, day to day into long term. And it's like, oh my gosh, this 90-day strategy gives that long term, that structure. So I take yesterday, to strategize, and it only took me about an hour to put it all together. But really ask myself the questions like, okay, where do I want to be in 90 days? And I want to share that with you guys for two reasons. One, to show you that I'm actually listening, I'm applying. And two, I want accountability, that sense of accountability. I believe accountability comes in community. I think it's very hard for people to be accountable to themselves, but I think it's much easier for them to be accountable to a group of people, right? Hence why I'm sharing this now. And this is, I want to give you guys my 90-day strategy on how I plan on bridging the day to day to that long term vision. And to break it down for you, it's really two steps. It's where do I want to be, in 90 days, and what are maybe 3 to 5 targets that are actually going to fulfill that. And I want to share this with you guys real quick because it's already 10:08 p.m. And I should have been starting my evening routine 8 minutes ago. I was here the same time yesterday. Oh my gosh. It's like Groundhog Day. Anyway, let's get into it. How many of you guys would like to know my 90-day strategy and how you can apply it for yourself for consistent growth? Yes, let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to grab my handy dandy notebook. All my Blues Clues fans start clapping. My handy dandy notebook is actually my funnel hacking notebook that I got, I guess, where? Funnel Hacking Live 2021. And I really asked myself the question, okay, where do I see myself in 90 days based on the 3 areas I'm most responsible for? And right now, for me, that is my personal life, and then my Pillars of Freedom brand business, and now my side hustle. So, where do I see myself personally in 90 days? And what I came up with was, if I can turn the page, not have a stroke. Yeah, here we go. I appreciate you guys dealing with my quirkiness. And so, personally, 90 days from now, I see myself 100% ready to move out of my dad's house. I've been here for exactly 2 years now. And as much as we like our company, we also know it's about time for me to leave. So, I'm 190 days from now, I am 100% ready to move out of my dad's house. I am beginning my journey to self sustainable off grid living. I am finding weekly fulfillment in my sense of love and connections and building a cadence of going out and dating and building meaningful relationships. And I am finding tremendous personal momentum as I build my future in business and non business. Okay. In business, Pillars of Freedom specifically, I see myself having consistent traffic of at least 10 new members in the 5-day Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge on a weekly basis. And my content marketing, daily feels easy and is consistent. I feel comfortable on camera and live video. I feel pretty comfortable right now. Cody Focus. And the Pillars of Freedom podcast is a hot and desirable platform for my Dream 100 influencers to be guests on. Okay. And in my side hustle, my mobile headlight restoration business, aka High Lux Detail, very fancy. I basically see like $8,000 worth of business coming from that over the next 90 days. Okay, so let's now talk about what my targets need to be, like how I'm actually going to achieve those goals. Okay, figuring out the what and then the how. All right, not the other way around. All right, so personal targets. The targets that I'm striving for over the next 90 days to help me achieve that 90-day vision. Okay, so number one, I've minimized my personal belongings into one of two categories: the items I use weekly and the items that I use at least weekly, maybe bi-weekly, tri-weekly, monthly, etc. I've established my truck camper as my daily living space. It's going to be so sweet, guys. I've established storage space for my non-weekly use items. I've established a casual dating relationship with at least one person I'm genuinely interested in. I'm consistently earning my champion seal. That is my daily framework for continuously leveling up the player so I can play a big, basically win at a bigger game, right? And in the Pillars of Freedom, the targets that I have are content marketing strategy that consistently brings in at least 10 new challenge members weekly. That's kind of a discovery target. I don't have that exact strategy because I'm not doing that right now. I'm not achieving that result right now. So that's a target I'm going to have to discover. Um, or a strategy that I'm going to have to discover in order to fulfill that target. But the second one being, I've found a rhythm for content marketing that feels easy and is easily consistent. And I've found a rhythm for daily lives like this, where going live is fun, feels easy, and supports the challenge traffic. Okay. And then finally, the Pillars of Freedom podcast has guests consistently booked at least 4 weeks in advance. Yeah, pretty neat, right? And then lastly, Hilux detail targets clients. I'm consistently serving at least 13 clients a week. I've earned at least $8,000 by the end of February, based on Hilux detail services alone. My online reservation funnel is consistently and easily booking at least 18 clients a week, because we know some people are going to, not show up or, quit, so to speak. And then marketing is automated with no excessive effort, which living in a small town is not that difficult. But like if you're doing online business, like you got to get figure out a pretty good way to get people's attention, because everybody else is too, right? All right. And then lastly, my long term strategy for Hilux detail enables a brick machine over the next year. That is my framework for a simple, duplicatable, profitable, robust, scalable, passive income cash flow business that and really helps me unlock the next level of lifestyle freedom, the freedom of time, income, and location. So 90 days from now, that's the 90-day vision I have that's going to help me bridge the day-to-day to the long-term vision. And I want to encourage each and every one of you to do the same, because here's what I'm finding. I'm finding that because I now have a 90-day strategy in place, it's giving me a lot of peace of mind. It's keeping my efforts focused and simple. I know what I'm shooting for. I don't have to, wonder on a day-to-day basis, what should I be doing? Why should I be doing it? It's because I have a 90-day strategy in place now, where it's like, if I focus on just doing these key activities, then everything else is going to come into place. Okay. Now, I don't know whatever your endeavor, is, whether, for you, it's family, whether it's, your job, your business, whatever. I guarantee you that whatever your long-term vision is, this 90-day strategy, just like that real estate agent said on the podcast, just like that 90 day, just like, he said in that podcast, it's like we grew consistently by implementing these 90-day strategies time and time again. And for you, whatever your endeavor looks like, I guarantee you that because you have a long-term vision of what that looks like, but you also know that the challenge, day-to-day effort can be pretty exhausting. Do yourself a favor, install a 90-day strategy and whatever you're trying to accomplish, because just as it's giving me peace of mind and confidence, having that sense of simplicity, it'll do the same for you, I'm sure of it. Okay, that's enough for me. We're 13 minutes in. It's 10:15. I still have one more live to do, going live on Instagram, and then I get to get ready for my evening routine so I can get back at it tomorrow. Yeah, fun stuff. Anyway, I'd love to know what you guys got from this episode too. Was there, one thing that stuck out to you? Let me know. Put it in the comments. I'd love to engage with you and actually find, ways where it's like I could, tailor these lives for you. I'd love to know what you'd like to see more of, maybe what you'd like to see less of, and we can go from there. I appreciate constructive criticism, but criticism alone is just not necessary. All right, guys. Okay, so no troll squad. I see you. Okay. I look forward to catching up with you guys tomorrow on the next episode of this YouTube live series, where I go live with you every single day to add value to your journey and document my own. This has been your friend Cody, host of the Pillars of Freedom podcast and the 5-day Entrepreneur Incubator Challenge, where I help you find your best fit business opportunity, give you the community, and really help you achieve your dreams, your aspirations, months, even years in advance, and save you from investing thousands of dollars learning it the hard way. Okay. Let's do it. We'll see you tomorrow.